What's up, guys? We are live. Trying to finish up 90's week with a review of The Crow. I was supposed to have a guest for tonight, and well, you've seen me here solo, so that really hasn't worked out the way I wanted it to. Arkham Gaming, thank you for being here, man. You're saving me right now. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, yeah. I'm gonna drop a link right now. All right, I just sent it there. But yeah, welcome, guys. Arkham, I wanted to talk to you too. I got this new thing that I wanna start. I got a series that I want to start, and it's a Batman series, Arkham, and I would like for you to co-host part of it with me. And after we do the stream, when we finish up the stream tonight, I'll talk about it. Saying, hey, Jet Sparks. What's going on? Yeah. But yeah, we're talking The Crow tonight. Yeah. Like as soon as we finish the topic tonight, when we wrap up, I'll tell you. Yeah. I'll tell you my idea and my pitch and see if you're down for it. But it's all about Batman. So I would give you that. Yeah. Somebody tried to join the Discord. It might have been Isaac. I'm not sure. I just finished, got done short montage about to be uploaded. Cool, dude. Montage to what? You got Just Sparks. But yeah, man. Crow, amazing movie. Absolutely loved it. One of my favorite wrestlers got inspired by it. Welcome. Hello.
Howdy.
Oh, I know who that is.
Howdy, can you hear me?
Yeah. Man, you really got in a character for this one.
Like I said, one of my favorite movies.
Oh, heck yeah, dude. What's up? Dude, it took me 30 minutes to find the right thumbnail because I saw like 5 of them that I just thought were freaking cool.
Well, I like that you used something from the comic book.
Yeah. It looked, out of all of them, I just thought this thing looked freaking awesome. So yeah. I don't want to use a regular movie promo that we've seen a million times over. That's the thing. I get complimented on my thumbnails a lot. So yeah.
Fortunately, the picture I'm using currently is not one that was often seen. It was associated with the movie, but it was just a post-production photo.
Yeah.
It was never actually in the movie.
And while I was searching on thumbnail photos, I started seeing if they did a reboot, who would be the Crow? We can also talk about that in a little bit. But, like, I love the movie. I love the story, especially like my dad actually let me watch it, and so this came out in '95, and so I was 8 years old. So wow, and my dad wouldn't let me watch Jerry Springer, Stone Cold Steve Austin, let alone like stuff with that kind of tone and the language and everything. But like my dad ironically was a pastor, and love revenge movies.
I was
so
19.
He loved The Crow.
Came out.
Yeah, he loved The Crow, and every Halloween around that time we'd watch the movie The Crow. It was like, during Christmas, how certain people watch the same Christmas movie every year because it's tradition.
Yep.
Yeah, well, in October we watch The Crow every year. Like that was kind of. So yeah, it was.
I was 19, almost 20 when this movie came out, and then when I turned 20, right after I turned 20 was Halloween, and I dressed up as the Crow that year for Halloween to a college party that I went to.
Just Sparks, I don't know what that is, but I'll just take your word for it. I don't know what Splitgate is. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I'm on network. I just found out the other day that I can't live stream on Xbox.
Really?
Yeah, I can do videos, right? And then I can upload those to Discord, YouTube, wherever. But I can't do YouTube live streams. I could probably do Twitch if I get it linked, but I can only shoot videos. I can't do actual live stream video gameplay through my Xbox because I was going to start doing KOTOR.
Yeah.
And that kind of bummed me out.
Huh.
And that was because that was one of my plans for next week. That was going to be my video game. I was going to start Untitled Republic 1 gameplay. Yeah, that was my big. That's a big reason why I don't have a lot going on this upcoming week, other than the Friday show, and then Saturday I want to do a video game podcast, like us just talking about video games and showing videos of new stuff and things like that.
Okay. Oh, I wonder why you can't stream with Xbox. That's something I'll have to look into.
Yeah, it's Twitch, and I don't do Twitch.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to Twitch. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'm a YouTube guy. Like, that's how it is.
I'm not a Twitcher. No, I'm not a Twitcher
either. Yeah. Oh, I'll support people on Twitch, like Rogue Arrow, and there's some, I know Saint Ravages and several other guys.
And Enosh.
Oh, yeah, Enosh, and then I think RJ does too. Whenever he does his watch parties, him and Hans do multicasting. So yeah.
Yep.
And I know for the holidays, Ambassador was doing Twitch.
Yeah.
Hey,
so what?
Fate, what's up, dude? Yeah.
Up. So, what do we have to say about the late great Eric Draven?
Oh my god, this movie was so cool. I love the premise of the story. So for you guys who don't know, the legend of the Crow is if someone gets killed before their time and they are brutally murdered so bad, a crow will resurrect them to get justice and revenge on whoever brutally murdered them to set things right. It's pretty much the premise of the story. So the late great Brandon Lee, and unfortunately a mishap happened, and that's in the filming of this movie, and that's what killed him. He was amazing. He was the first ever Crow. And Eric Draven's the lead character. His fiance, on the night before they're supposed to be married, she gets raped and murdered. Then he gets murdered. And so a crow raises him from the dead to get revenge on all the people that were responsible for murdering them. It's very dark tone, but it's amazing. I love the storyline. The actors now are like huge, but then they weren't that big. But yeah, it was cool. I love the movie. I like the fact that like he just can't be phased. He had a lot of humanity, so it wasn't like a robot coming back to get freaking revenge on something, but a person with emotions and feelings and things like that. It's like everything was cool. What's your thoughts, Steve?
Okay, so this the way this movie was made was it started out as a comic book written by a man named James O'Barr, and he wrote this story to help him deal with the loss of a girlfriend of his that was killed, I believe, in a car wreck. I'd have to look that up. But he wrote this story as a comic book, really, really indie underground comic book. Wasn't published by a big company. In fact, I believe, if you give me a minute, the original comic was published. It was published by Caliber Comics, and it first appeared in Caliber Comics Presents #1 in 1989, which was about 6 years before the movie was made. Like Josh said, the soul of the unquiet dead, the one that was killed wrongly, that died before his time, was brought back by the spirit of the crow to put, as they say, put the wrong things right. What that normally meant was going after the people responsible, and all of his power was held within the crow totem, which was the crow that followed the character around. According to the comics, there were many different people that were the crow over the years. One of them being Eric Draven, which was the first one of the movies, which was played by, again, Brandon Lee. Brandon Lee being the son of Bruce Lee, martial arts actor and extraordinary all-around badass. Brandon Lee was killed making this movie. An accident occurred with a prop gun on the set, and a piece of cotton wadding, a piece of bullet was lodged in the prop gun from a previous firing, and nobody had cleared the barrel. And he caught part of that bullet lodged, entered into his abdomen above his belly button and lodged in his spine. He lived for several hours, went through several surgeries, but in the end, they were not able to help him. That wasn't the only thing that plagued the production of this movie. There was also a flood. There was also a hurricane and some flooding that wrecked several of the sets. I believe it was being filmed in North Carolina. So this production had several bad things going for it. I believe an electrician or something was killed on set in an accident. There were just several different things that went wrong with this movie. But they finished it. They actually filmed some of it out of order, which luckily, because again, he was killed during the production of the movie, they were able to.
It just seems weird. Yeah.
Well, they were able to use a body double. His stunt double actually finished the movie, and it's one of the first digital facial renderings of a person in movies. They digitally covered the stunt double's face with some digital imaging of his face, so they could finish the story. They also did things like, shoot him from the side or shoot him from behind, things that they could just, keep from lingering on the face. It was a very weird production. Things were not normal. Now, you can take that however you wish, take it as a lot of people say there was a curse. A lot of people say that it had to do with his family, that Brandon Lee's whole family was cursed. Or at least the males in their family were cursed. And that's why his father died young and he died young. You can take that as it were, as you want, being as it's old Chinese mysticism. I honestly believe there were just several accidents that happened making this movie. And it was just an unfortunate loss of a really promising actor. This was like his second movie role, and he was slated to star in a whole lot more. But he ended up dying. There were 3 sequels after this. Only one of them, in my opinion, is worth watching. The other 2 are just kind of eh. But they were each. Yeah, but there were 3 sequels past this movie, so the total of 4,
Oh yeah,
but 3
three
sequels.
sequels. Yeah. First one was the
The-
best. The one with David Boreanaz, he plays the bad guy in it. I thought it wasn't bad.
Okay,
But-
well, the second one had, let me real quick find the name of the guy that played the character. And see, each movie is a different person that's taken on the mantle of the Crow, because, like I said, it happens for anybody that was wrongfully murdered or died in a bad way. The second movie was known as The Crow, City of Angels.
Yeah. I didn't really care for that one.
And it starred Vincent Perez, who played a character named Ash, who was getting revenge for the murder of him and his son. Now, in the first movie that Brandon Lee was in, there was a young girl who was a friend of him and his girlfriend, who was named Sarah. In the second movie, she's grown up and she actually meets and befriends the second Crow, Ash. Hey, what's up, Jess?
Hey, Jeff.
And
Good to see you.
Jess helps him face down this drug lord named Judah and his minions. And the Sarah character actually ends up dying in the second movie. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it. But she ends up dying for the Crow and moves on from there, and helps redeem him. So he ends up passing on to his afterlife. The third movie had Eric Mabus as the main character. He was wrongfully executed for murdering his girlfriend. And he comes back. He was executed in the electric chair, which was actually kind of grisly and ghoulish. He ended up coming back, and with Kirsten Dunst, who was the sister to his girlfriend, finding the people responsible for killing her and causing his execution. And then the fourth movie was called The Crow Wicked Prayer. It had Edward Furlong as Jimmy Cuervo, who was the Crow
this one
in that movie. And
yeah, Wicked Prayer. I really like.
Huh?
I like to read Wicked Prayer.
The bad guy was David Boreanaz from Angel and Buffy, and his girlfriend, who was played by Tara Reid, and they were a satanic cult that decided to sacrifice Jimmy Cuervo and his girlfriend in a ritual, and he was resurrected. Cuervo was resurrected and came back as the Crow. I kind of liked that one, but it had its kind of, I don't know, hokey moments. I liked the third one with Eric Mabus. I did not, however, like the second one with Vincent Perez.
No, I didn't like the second one either. Yeah.
Now, this movie has been slated to be remade several times, but it seems to never get off the ground. And there's currently a reboot in production that's supposed to star Jason Momoa.
I saw that. It was not a bad shout.
But it's been on hold for like 4 or 5 years now. They're having problems getting the production off the ground, so we don't even know if it's ever going to get off the ground. If it does, I think Momoa will play a good Eric Draven. He won't ever be Brandon Lee, but I think he'd give it a good try.
I think he'd be good at it.
There was also an atrocious live-action TV show called Stairway to Heaven that was made in Canada.
I never
It went for a couple of seasons. It was okay. The guy that played Eric Draven in that show went on to do Iron Chef, of all things. He was the host for Iron Chef.
That's great.
Yeah, like I said, he wasn't that great of an actor anyway. Um, I mean, the show expanded on the story from the comic books, so you had a whole lot more time during the season, during the episodes of the show to expand on the story. But to be honest, it wasn't that great. Um, Now, several of the people from the first movie that played the bad guys, one of them has passed away now. The one that played the four bad guys that were part of a little street gang were T-Bird, Funboy, Tintin, and Skank. The guy that played Funboy, Michael Massey, has passed away. He died of stomach cancer a few years ago.
All right.
And he just happened to be the man who was holding the prop gun that fired the fatal round at Brandon Lee. And it horribly affected him, even though it wasn't his fault.
Oh, is that the scene?
Yes. The scene where he died is actually the scene where it shows him coming in and they're killing his girlfriend.
So the opening?
Yeah, it's actually the flashback scene where he died. Yes. The scene where him where Funboy and T-Bird aim the guns at him and fire. It was Michael Massey's gun, the guy who played Funboy's gun, who fired the fatal bullet that killed Brandon Lee.
Okay. I always thought
And
for
like
some
I said-
reason it was the scene where you got all the people firing on him.
Yeah, everybody seemed to think that. That's actually not correct. That was debunked. The scene in question is the flashback scene where it shows him being murdered along with his girlfriend. Like I said, Michael Massey fired the fatal shot, and he blamed himself for the death, even though it was proven it wasn't his fault. It was the prop guys that weren't paying attention. And he didn't act for a very long time after that. It affected him that badly. And even up until the day he died, he still every year apologized to Brandon Lee's family. It affected him very deeply, as it would anybody, I'm sure, that has half a heart,
Of course.
But most of the actors in the movie were like bit actors, TV actors, stuff like that. A couple of them became famous.
You there? You're cutting out a little bit, Sage.
More in Ghostbusters.
Oh, okay. You were cutting out a little bit.
I said the only one really famous actor in this movie is the guy who played Officer Albrecht, the cop. Was actually the guy who played Winston Zedmore in Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Like I said, most of the actors in this movie were not like big name actors. Which made the movie that much better because it wasn't big name actors that were in the movie. They were all, they all gave themselves to their parts. Beyond that, the comic book still runs off and on from time to time. Just depends on whenever James O'Barr wants to write a new story. And there's been several different crows now through the comic books, including one that was a female that the makeup she used to do the crow symbol on her face was actually the blood from her eye sockets, which was really nasty. I
guess the reason why I liked Wicked Prayer so much is because I've always been an Edward Furlong fan. And I wanted it to work out. And he really didn't hit anything big after freaking Terminator 2.
Right.
And he was like a teenager in that. So it was like, so I liked it for what it was.
Well,
it had a good guy that I knew from other movies, and then it had a bad guy I knew from other shows.
Well, the reason why the kid who played Jimmy Cuervo in in The Crow Wicked Prayer didn't make it as an actor is because he got really tied up with drugs, and he ended up doing a bunch of stupid stuff. I think he ended up in and out of jail, and he's only just now started to get sober.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate.
The kid had a whole lot of problems.
He had so much momentum coming out of Terminator 2 as well.
Well, he did Terminator.
He did freaking good in that.
The movies he's known for, he did Terminator 2. He did American History X with Edward Norton.
Yeah.
He did The Crow Wicked Prayer. And it was like one or two other movies he did. I think he did a movie called Pecker. But they were all, movies in the 90s, basically. A couple of them were really big movies, like American History X made a lot of people stop and think. It was about, skinheads, and it's one of those movies that makes you sit down and think about life, basically. And it's all shot in black and white, which is awesome. Well, parts of it are shot in black and white, like the flashbacks are shot in black and white, which was really, really unique way to film a movie. That movie had Edward Norton, Edward Furlong, Fairuza Bialik, quite a few people actually in that movie. I can't remember some of the actors and actresses in that movie. Yeah. But anyway, he was connected with a lot of good movies. He just ended up on drugs really bad. Sometimes kid actors, that happens to them, and they make bad choices. But it was, it didn't suck, but it was one of those movies that just isn't easily remembered unless you're just into that series,
And at the same time, I think if Wicked Prayer would have been the second one, I think it would have hit better.
It probably would have. See, the guy that Alex Perez or Vincent Perez, the guy who did the second movie, who was Ash Corvin in the second movie, I'm really not fond of him as an actor.
I didn't know who he was.
He's a French actor.
Okay.
Not French, Spanish. He's a Spanish actor, and he's not been in a whole lot that I can even tell you. He was in the second Vampire Chronicles movie, Queen of the Damned. He played Marius. But other than that, I really can't think of many movies he was in, to be honest with you. I could probably look it up, but I don't see the point. That movie just was not good. It felt like they were trying to tell the same story, but with different circumstances. It just didn't. It didn't work like the third and fourth movie did, because the third and fourth movies were actually unique, with the exception of somebody dying for the wrong reasons. But there's stories like,
if you're going to do a series of movies, then you want to keep the premise the same, but then you can switch it up with other things.
Well, look, okay, the first movie with Brandon Lee was him and his girlfriend were murdered by a street gang that were hired by a man who was trying to clear out property.
Yeah.
The second movie, he was murdered. Him and his son were murdered because they saw this group of mobsters basically dumping a body at the pier.
So they tried to go Punisher with it?
Yeah, basically. And then the third movie was a guy was executed by the state, for murdering his fiance, and he didn't actually kill her. So
that's stupid.
Unique. No, that was at least unique, though. It was a different way of seeing it. He wasn't murdered along.
So what did you kill? You kill the state in revenge?
No. He went after the guys that he knew were responsible.
Oh, that
because
him.
He saw who framed him.
Okay.
So he saw who framed him, so he knew, and he tried to say the whole time before his execution he was innocent, but nobody believed him. And you come to find out that her father was mixed up with the guys that murdered his fiance. The fiance's own father was involved, and it was a bunch of these police officers on the police force that were dirty and crooked. And her father was like a city councilman or some shit like that. And he was all mixed up with them. And apparently the fiance had found out what they were up to, the corruption and all of that. She was going to tell somebody. And for all intents and purposes, the fiance's father got her killed. And it was up to the executed boyfriend who came back as the Crow and his fiance's little sister, who was played by Kirsten Dunst, to figure it all out. Like I said, has a really nasty scene at the first part of the movie where he was executed by electric chair.
Okay.
And then, of course, the Crow Wicked Prayer was even more interesting because it was like a satanic ritual that him and his girlfriend were sacrificed. So at least the third and fourth one had interesting stories as to how he became the Crow,
Yeah, the third one just was bad.
That second movie was just horrible because it tried to repeat the first movie, but instead of the girlfriend, it was the son. It was kind of Punisher, like you said. It's just freaking retarded, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't even know if I've seen the third one, but it sounds effing awful. Getting framed for murder, like the whole premise of the first one is that someone got murdered brutally so bad that the freaking Crow had to resurrect them to set the wrongs right. It was like the heinousness and the brutality of it.
Well, if you look at the story in the third movie, it's just as heinous.
Yeah.
He was executed for something he didn't do. So, I mean,
but how was his death? Did he get brutally murdered, or did he just get put to death?
He got put to death.
Yeah. See, so
for the wrong reasons, though. Like I said, he was framed. Yeah. So, in a way, it is again what the Crow does. If you're wrongfully killed, the Crow brings you back.
Yeah, it's just like that's like a political thing, where you get framed or set up by somebody. Okay, that I never felt was like the thing with the Crow. It was the severity of how you got killed. But yeah, like to each his own, I guess. The first one and the fourth one I like, but the rest, not really. I can see where it's a different story. That kind of premise for a story.
Well, I enjoyed it, but like you said, to each their own.
And Crow City Angels, just like those actors didn't hit with me. I didn't mind the story being repeated with the son instead of the wife if the actors in their portrayal in those roles would have resonated with me. But like you said before, Vincent Perez is no Brandon Lee. So, yeah.
The coolest part of that whole movie was the deaths of the bad guys who were really unrememberable. The only memorable villain in that movie, besides the main villain, Judah, was Iggy Pop, the punk rocker. Iggy Pop played a bad guy in that movie.
Really?
He was kind of himself. He kind of played himself in that movie, to be honest.
Yeah. Like in the first Crow movie, the bad guy, he's played bad guys in a bunch of other movies.
Oh yeah, he was in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves with Kevin Costner.
He's been so you recognize him as a bad guy. So it's like, it's that guy from that other movie.
It's that guy that plays bad guys.
And he had a cool voice. All right, so
my favorite line from the first movie. I actually have a couple. There's a scene in the first movie where the little girl, Sarah, who's the friend of the Crow, he was kind of like her big brother. because him and his fiance took care of her because her mother was drugged out and fucking with the dudes
Fun Boy.
from
Yeah.
with Fun Boy. One of my favorite lines is when when he attacks Fun Boy, Darla, Sarah's mother, is there, and he grabs her and she's been shooting up heroin. And she goes running into the bathroom. She has a straight razor. She tries to attack him with the straight razor. And he grabs her and he grabs her arm. And using his power, he drains the morphine out of her arm, out of her veins.
Oh my God, that was cool. Yeah, I like that.
And he goes, "Mother is the name for God on the lips and hearts of all little children. Morphine is bad for you. Your daughter's out there in the streets alone. Go to her." Like, okay. Like he instantly sobered her up and then sent her to go take care of her daughter.
Okay, guys. I'm just going to say this as a Christian. In that moment, he felt like he went full Jesus Christ on her.
Basically,
like then, you're drugged up. I'm de-drugging you. You got a daughter at home waiting on you. You need to go to her. Sin no more. And then she grabs her shit and leaves.
Basically.
So, and in that moment, that's what it felt like. It was so cool, dude. Like,
and then another favorite line of mine is after the crow the bad guys find out that the bird is his power. So they wound the crow. One of the guys, Tony Todd, actually, that's another name I recognize from the first movie. The guy that played the Candyman. He was one of the bad guys in the first movie. He was the henchman to the main bad guy.
Oh, the dude with the glasses?
Yeah, the big black dude with the glasses. That was the dude who played Candyman in the Candyman movie.
Oh, shit. I did not know
that was Tony Todd. He also played the coroner in the Final Destination movies. He was big with horror movies. He was a big horror movie actor because his voice is real distinct. You know, you recognize his voice. Even if you don't recognize him, you recognize his voice. And he ends up wounding the bird. And the main bad guy's half-sister, who's this weird mystic kind of witch chick, grabs the bird because she's going to sacrifice the bird and take its power. And because the bird got wounded, the crow, who was basically immortal and invincible, suddenly becomes not so invincible. And he gets shot in the church. And the cop is with him. Officer Albrecht is with him. And he goes, "Well, I have a plan." And the crow looks at him and goes, "What's your plan?" He goes, "Well, basically, you stand out front, soak up all the bullets, and I get the bad guys." And his hand's on his shoulder at that point, and he pulls his hand away, and he's bleeding. And the Officer Albrecht looks at him and goes, "Well, I thought you were invincible." And the crow looks at him and goes, "I was. I'm not anymore." That was funny.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some good lines, and Brandon Lee delivered those lines so well in that movie.
So freaking good. Yeah.
And I think the greatest part of that movie was him and the main bad guy.
Eric. Hey Jedi, that's Thade. He's just getting into character for this.
Yeah, it's me. It's Thade. I'm just being Eric. Yeah, we got bot-barded. Yeah, you're right there. Oh, there's more bots. Kill them, Josh. Kill them.
Oh, I'm working on it right now.
But the best part of that whole movie, though, is they're up on top of the church. He killed the witch girl, and he's the main bad guy is taking Sarah, the teenager that he was looking after, up on the building on the rooftop of this church, and he follows him up there to get her back. And Dude tries to throw the little girl off the building, off the church. They end up getting into this fucked up sword fight where the main bad guy's got a katana and he's using the weather vane off the top of the fucking church as a sword. And he ends up getting stabbed by the bad guy, and he's sitting there bleeding out. And the bad guy's doing the whole villain soliloquy, you know. And he goes, I've got something for you. And the main bad guy goes, well, what is it? You're basically like, you're wasting my time. And he grabs him by the sides of his head and he goes, 30 hours of pain, all at once, all for you. And he basically transfers all of his fiance's pain as she was dying into the main bad guy and makes him feel everything, all of the death that he caused, all of the pain that he caused. And then the guy goes,
fall to his death, yeah.
Yeah, he ends up falling off the church and getting impaled on the horns of a gargoyle. And then, of course, with that being taken care of, he talks to the cop and Sarah one last time. And then he goes and he meets his fiance in the graveyard because she comes back to take him back to the land, to take him back to his afterlife. And he goes. And at the end of the movie, Sarah, the little girl, says, you know, it was once believed that when people died, that a crow would come back to bring them back and put the wrong things right and all of that. And she basically closes out the movie with a really hopeful message where the movie starts on a really dark message. That was another thing that I hated about that second movie. They brought her back and they completely made her character like, you know, the first movie ends hopeful, like she's going to have a better life because her mother comes back to her, and you know she's able to let Eric go and know that he's going to be okay, and that Shelley's going to be okay. And then that second movie, she's a tattoo artist, but she's still dark and depressed and all this other. Like that second movie makes like everything that the first movie did nothing. Basically for Sarah, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, what's the fucking point? Like, he made Sarah's life better in that first movie. Why is she back to being in a bad place again in the second movie? You know what I'm saying? And I didn't like that way that they did her character in that. I think, you know, the only reason they really brought her character back in that second movie was nostalgia bait.
So Sarah, it was the same Sarah in the second movie?
Not the same actress, but the same character, yes.
The same character. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta give it another watch.
Yeah, basically Jet Sparks.
I totally forgot that part.
Made moot. Huh?
I said I gotta give that a watch. It's been forever since I've seen it. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. She's played by Mia Sarah in the second movie, but it's not the same actress, like I said, but it's the same character.
No. Obviously, it probably wouldn't be the same because it's only done a couple years after the first one.
Yeah, I think there was like 3 years between the movies.
Yeah.
I just think that the second movie kind of shit on the first movie, basically. And that's really my main reason for not liking it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, it just didn't hit with me.
Yeah.
I guess you could make the argument that it shit on it, but it wasn't even that deep for me. Of course, you're about 12 years older than me, so yeah, you're gonna get a different view than what I was almost a teenager and you were an adult. So yeah, like yeah, you're gonna get way two different views. And that's fine. That's why we don't have the same opinion on like the third movie. And then it's not that I didn't like the second one, I just didn't care enough. I didn't give a shit about it. The second one was like I just didn't give a shit about it. I love the first one.
Yeah. Well, the first one, like I said, is one of my top 5 favorite movies.
Yeah.
It's actually in the top 3, if I want to be honest. And that movie also had a kick-ass soundtrack. Like, I still jam the soundtrack from that movie. So let me
Nate,
read
no
off
more
a few of
Spider-Man
them.
references. Nate, if I hear another Spider-Man reference, I will do a Batman stream every single day for the next 30 days after the Batman comes out.
Oh,
Yeah.
did I get some? Do we have some Spider-Man hate?
I got Spider-Man fatigue, dude. I'm just, especially the way they promoted ever-living dog shit out of freaking No Way Home. It's just annoying.
Hey, man, you still got to admit, though, it was a good movie.
I haven't seen it yet, but I plan on it.
Oh, you haven't?
And
You should.
Well, I have 2 children and I don't have $200, so I really can't see it. Dude, they charge like $50 an hour to watch your kids here. All right, babysitters are freaking ripping.
Right.
Yeah, like, that's what it is.
Well, anyway, the soundtrack for the first Crow movie has some awesome bands on it and some really kick-ass
hell
songs.
yeah, that Crow soundtrack. Oh my god, dude!
I still play this soundtrack. I still have it today. I still have this soundtrack on CD, and I still play this soundtrack whenever I'm sitting here cleaning the house or whatever. It's got Burn by The Cure, Golgotha Tenement Blues by Machines of Love and Grace. It's got The Big Empty by Stone Temple Pilots, which, by the way, I'm probably going to sing at the karaoke thing tonight. It's got Dead Souls by 9 Inch Nails, Color Me Once by Violent Femmes, Ghost Rider by the Rollins Band, Milk Toast by Helmet, After the Flesh by My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult, Snake Driver by Jesus and Mary Chain, and of course the main love song of the movie, which is It Can't Rain All the Time by Jane Silbury. But like, this whole soundtrack is like just badass. It's one of the best it's like one of the best soundtracks, and it still stands up 30 years later, basically. It's one of the best, like, top 10 best movie soundtracks.
It was pretty good. Yeah, like. Oh, we watched it for years. Some movies I don't just get tired of if they're that good.
Yeah.
I was joking about the Spider-Man stuff, but seriously, I don't want to.
They are sitting here doing lines from the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man in the chat.
Yeah. Oh my God! If Andrew is here, you guys would all be in heaven right now.
I'm surprised you youngsters all remember that movie.
Yeah. Oh, don't let Nate fool you. He's in his 30s like I am. Oh, I remember. That movie came out when I was in high school. It was a good movie. It was a good movie, but it ain't greatest thing since sliced bread. All right. People put these movies on a pedestal, just like, and then the movies that should be put on a pedestal, they don't even talk about. Everyone want to talk about Spider-Man, and they want to talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League. They don't know about that. What about the Burton movies, huh? We don't put Tim Burton on a pedestal. We don't put Michael Keaton on a pedestal, but we gonna put Batfleck. Yeah, like that's the thing that gets me, which is making me segue into what my next series is gonna be. See, I was going somewhere with this. I am going to start a 3-part series. I'm going to start a 3-part series because I got to thinking, because Thade, who goes on the 25 podcasts a week, freaking he was on, what was his name? The Jason Lee Tucker Statement podcast last night. Can't believe I still remember that, because that was the first time I ever went on that show. And we started talking, and I started thinking, what if, wouldn't it be cool if Tim Burton came back to DC or WB? I'm like, what if that happened? What if he did a Justice League movie? You know, what if he did all these things? And then it made me start thinking, how about we do a series?
I had kind of a hot take actually on the first Batman movie, the '89 Batman, the first Tim Burton Batman movie. You realize that movie has basically no plot, right? Like I was watching it today. I actually watched both of the Burton Batman movies today. And really the whole plot of that movie, like they have this thing going, you know, of course, Jack Napier becomes Joker, and the plot behind that is, well, with him killing Bruce Wayne's parents, he made him Batman, but when Batman knocked him into the chemicals, he made him the Joker. So they were both responsible for making each other. And then like halfway through the movie, Joker meets Vicky Vale, and it suddenly becomes about those two guys waving their dicks at Vicky Vale.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it was a bad movie. It just has basically no plot.
Yeah. And it's great because it has no plot. I mean, Seinfeld was a series that had no plot ever, and look at that. Some of the best movies out there have no plot. People think because you have a plot that's something special. No. Freaking Batman and Robin had a plot, and look at that.
Good night, Jedi Master Miyagi. Get some rest, buddy.
Yeah, have a good one.
Bat dance. I'll tell you this, man. That soundtrack was pretty kick-ass. Prince did most of the soundtrack to that movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it didn't have a plot, and that's what I liked about it.
Remember how I told you, Josh? Remember how I told you my favorite comic book villain is the Joker?
Yeah.
Here's my Joker impersonation from Jack Nicholson's Joker. All right, folks, it's time for Who Do You Trust? Hubba, 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 money, money, money. Who do you trust? Me? I'm giving away free money. And where is the Batman? He's at home, washing his tights. I love that movie. I love that movie.
Oh yeah, it's freaking awesome. Waving their dicks for. Oh my god, that's funny.
But basically, I mean, look, like she's into Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne sleeps with her, and then he fucking ghosts her because he can't handle being in love because he's still, you know, he's the Batman and he's lonely and, you know, blah 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 blah. The dark, mysterious, I'm a loner sort of thing. And then like, so he ghosts her.
He wants to go. He wants to freaking do a tribute to his family because it's that time of the year. And freaking, they sleep together one time, and she wants him attached to her puss. All right, that is what it is. She wants to. They sleep together one time, and then she wants to freaking. She wants to have lunch like 3 hours later.
No, listen. I was gonna make it funny. Just let me have this one, okay? Just give me a minute.
Okay.
So like they bone, right? And he ghosts her, and she's a little obsessed. I agree. You know, she's like, I love you. So he ghosts her because he can't handle a relationship. And then like he goes to her apartment to apologize. And the Joker's there, and then he realizes the Joker's interested in her, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh hell no, that's my girl." Like I said, and then they spend the rest of the movie waving their dicks at Vicky Vale.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
okay, so here's what the idea is. We're going to do a 3-part series leading to a Burtonverse versus a Snyderverse stream. I'm going to do one Burtonverse stream, one Snyderverse, and then we're going to go the head-to-head. And so I'm looking for people who want to be on each team, and then, yeah. I'm going to start that.
Okay. Sounds fascinating.
Yeah. Because I'm sick and tired of my boy Tim Burton getting no love for all these Batman movies.
Oh, what? Oh, what? Like poor Vicky Vale?
I don't give a shit. Freaking Kim Basinger was hot, and freaking still is, and freaking she did good with Vicky Vale. Because Vicky Vale was a nobody character, let's face it.
And then, like, okay, Batman Returns. Here's my opinion on it. And again, I like the movie. Don't get me wrong. I'm not making fun of these movies. I'm just like looking at it with an adult eye now.
No,
You know?
you are making fun of the movies, but you're not trashing the movies, and that's the difference because we're having fun with it. All right.
Well, okay, I'll say that. I'm not trashing the movies because I love them. I still love them now. But like you realize the second movie, Batman Returns, they wanted Tim Burton to come back and make that movie, and he did, but he didn't want to make the movie. Like he had told them he didn't want to make another Batman movie.
Well, you want to be one and done?
Yeah, he wanted to do other things because Tim Burton's just a weirdo like that. Like he'll do a movie and then like he'll go away for a bit and then he'll come back and do another. Like he's a real artsy type director. If you haven't noticed, like if you look at the
I've seen the documentaries on both of them, and he originally didn't want to make it, but then he did. He was okay, and then he wanted to come back and make a third one.
They offered him money to make the second one. They offered him more money, so he came in, but like he spent the whole time making that movie, trying to make the movie fail. So he made it the weirdest goddamn movie ever. Like, come on, giant attack penguins, really?
They weren't that giant, and it wasn't that bad.
But like,
and that's not what people trash freaking Batman Returns on. They trash Batman Returns for freaking Penguin. And I thought Danny DeVito did a really
no. Don't get me wrong. He was a fucking amazing Penguin. Okay, for the weird. Okay, the only problem that people really have, the logical people anyway, the people that aren't really trashing the movie but just are making like, yes, it was. Exactly, Jess. They knew the Burtonverse knew the cheese that it was, and I will agree with you there. But like, at least the Burton movies were better than the Schumacher movies. Those were horrible.
A million times better. There was a little bit of cheesiness, but not that much.
Yeah, well, it's cheesy, but in a comic book sort of serious way. Like
everything about the Burton movies to me was cool, from the logo to the bat suit to the vehicles. Freaking, they made Michael Keaton look like an actual detective instead of shoving around a freaking Bat credit card and acting all badass. Like, what's in your wallet? Like, like freaking. I can't stand the Schumacher movies. Forever was okay because I always like Val Kilmer, but Batman and Robin, and I don't like Batman in team ups because freaking I think he's better solo. So like, it's just Batman fighting the bad guys.
Look, if the actor that plays the Robin is actually worth a fuck, which we've hardly ever gotten an actor that's worth a fuck as Robin, then I think
like Chris O'Donnell.
Don't. The only live action Dick Grayson that was worth a fuck, and I wish I could love the show more, but they completely fucked the whole goddamn concept of that show. The first 2 seasons of Titans was good. It was fucking amazing. Okay? And then that 3rd season, they went completely off the goddamn rails. Okay? But the guy
What rails? It's freaking its own universe.
I know. But like, look, you had the same people working on Titans that are working on Doom Patrol. Okay? Doom Patrol is fucking amazing. It is unique. It's exciting. Every season has been awesome. What the fuck went wrong with Titans?
They ain't got Cyborg, dude. They need Cyborg. It's incomplete without Cyborg.
Well, the thing about Titans. Well, the best cyborg, and I'm not saying anything negative about Ray Fisher. Okay, don't get me wrong. I think Ray Fisher got screwed on the Snyderverse movies, but he got screwed, but not by Snyder, but by WB.
Yeah.
And Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon got canceled. It's all right.
Yeah, and I'm glad he did. Anyway, that's a whole other fucking subject. But he's Cyborg's on Doom Patrol, and the kid that plays Cyborg on Doom Patrol is fucking amazing, and they should have used him in the Snyder
Nate,
movie.
If you're gonna, sorry, I gotta cut you off for a second. Nate, if you're gonna quote a movie, make sure you get your typos right. All right. Yeah. We just finished up the Crow stream. We're talking about the future projects, and we're talking about all the Batman, and now we're talking DC stuff. Now everybody's like, "Oh, Titans is trash. They're not following the comic book lore." Well, it's part of its multiverse, so it doesn't have to follow the comic.
Well, I'm not saying it does. I'm completely not saying it does. But
no, you're being reasonable. All right.
It made my major gripe with Titans season 3 was 2 characters, because they did the Red Hood in season 3, and I loved the Red Hood. He did good. And the kid that played him, Kieran Walters, he's a little squeaker, but like with the costume and the voice changer as the Red Hood, he was fucking awesome. Okay.
Oh yeah.
My only problem with Titan season 3, and it's a major fucking problem, is the chick that they got playing Barbara Gordon and the way they portray Batman. Joker is seen briefly in the very first episode of season 3, and he beats Jason to death. Because Jason at that time was
Joker in that show. That's what pissed me off about it. The
well,
way
they show him
in the trailer was like you were going to see him.
They mention him, and you actually see him beating Jason Todd to death. Okay,
yeah, but that's it.
But then, like, they bury Jason. There's this funeral thing going on. Dick is there with Bruce. Bruce loses his mind. And he disappears. And Dick's staying at the mansion again with Bruce, even though he doesn't want to, because he's doing the Titans thing. But he goes and stays with Bruce because Bruce is his father, basically, and Jason was his brother, and he's there, and Alfred has died, so Bruce has nobody. Okay. And that's one thing.
I'm putting this comment up here just because I'm trying to be fair.
They fucking kill off Alfred in between season 2 and season 3. Hey, what's up, Helix? I subbed to your channel, and I've actually watched a couple of your streams, brother.
Paul and Jess are hilarious on that show.
Yeah, oh God, they are, yes. But anyway, look.
Oh, dang, Paul. Hope everything is okay, buddy.
They kill off a major character in between 2 seasons. You don't even know why he's dead. They don't say why. They don't ever tell you why. You just hear Alfred. Like, he's there for the first 2 seasons of Titans, and then he's just dead. And they never explain why Alfred's dead. They just they mention that Bruce is alone because now both Jason and Alfred are dead. What? Like, and we don't even get a reason why Alfred's dead. He's just dead. And then, like, Batman disappears after Jason dies, and Dick's sleeping at the mansion, and he wakes up, and Bruce is standing there over him with a bloody crowbar, And he drops the crowbar on the floor and he says, "It's done. I killed him." And then he begs Dick to kill him. What?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck was that? And this is the
here's my question. Why do people get so pissed off about people not explaining shit to them? Alfred's dead, so what? It's not like Batman died for no reason. It's Alfred.
It's disturbing to me.
Yeah.
It's disturbing to me.
Making Batman a bitch. Yeah, like that.
They made Batman a bitch.
And I completely understand that.
My problem with Barbara Gordon is, okay, yes, the Joker was responsible for paralyzing her and putting her in the wheelchair. And in the comic books, she never blamed Batman for that. It just fucking happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but if you follow the Arkham games,
but
she didn't blame him for it, but everybody else did.
But this Barbara in this show is there for Bruce during Jason's funeral, and then just starts talking mad shit about him and blaming him for it. It wasn't Bruce's fault.
Yeah,
he couldn't control the Joker.
Dick started getting her going.
It's like, okay, I have never seen one of the most important things, and I don't care what fucking reality you're coming from for Batman, okay? But one of the most important things to Batman is his family, okay? They stick together no matter what, all right? And the Titan show in the 3rd season just completely fucked that over. It turned Batman into a bitch, and his children didn't care about him, basically. And I'm just like, fuck that. And you know me. I normally don't bitch about this shit, right?
Yeah.
But I watched it, and it completely just pissed me off. And even though they've okayed that show for a season 4, I don't think I'll ever go back to it.
Yeah, it's just like people are comparing it to like comic books and what they know about the Bat family. And it's its own thing. It's not that. It's an alternate universe.
I get that. But again, doesn't matter what alternate reality. Most of the time, the Bat family is still together. They're not hating each other. And it just like, it completely turned Batman into a bitch. And
yeah, well,
I didn't like that.
It's like, it's based, the reason why I started watching it is because it's supposed to be the live action version of Teen Titans or Teen Titans Go. All right. And in Teen Titans Go, they shit on Batman all the time.
Yeah, but Teen Titans Go is like, it's parody, and you have to take it as parody, okay? Teen Titans wasn't parody. Teen Titans was a good show.
But imagine little kids watching Teen Titans Go, bouncing back and forth between Batman the Animated Series and that. They're not going to take it as parody.
I guess. I don't know. It's just like you have to take that show as parody if you watch it like as with adult.
So you have to take Titans as parody as well because it's connected.
Right. But like,
yes, it's live action, but it's still like. Do you think I see Bruce Wayne in this, and I like the guy who plays Bruce Wayne, but I like the story. I don't take this shit seriously because Titans Batman is not Keaton Batman, or even Affleck Batman, or that. It's a live action, but it's not anywhere close. Yeah.
All right, I want to address a couple of things in chat real quick. First of all, Halogen Helix, I'm so sorry to hear about the floods, brother. I hope you're safe. I hope everything's going to be okay with you. And I hope you stay safe, and may the hand of God be with you, friend. And as for Jess and Nate, I completely agree with both of you. Teen Titans was awesome. Teen Titans Go was...
What's the difference between the two? I thought it was the same shit.
Teen Titans was more serious, though. like it actually took itself seriously, even for a cartoon. Teen Titans Go was parody. That's the difference. And the art is different. The art is like the animation is way different.
Yeah.
Now, did you ever watch Young Justice?
No. If it
That
wasn't on a
cartoon-
big network, I wouldn't watch it.
That cartoon was freaking awesome.
Like people ask me if I watch certain shit, and if I have to hunt something down just to watch it, I'm not gonna watch it. Like that's too much fun.
Oh no, you don't have to hunt it down.
It's like when it comes to anime thing, you don't just find anime by turning on the TV. You gotta hunt that shit down.
Well, like okay, you've got HBO Max, right?
Yeah.
You can watch Young Justice. It's on there.
Yeah, and like that, since I have HBO Max, and what pissed me off recently is they took the Burton movies off.
Yeah.
That pissed me off, and I'm like, why? They were on there forever.
I'm sorry to hear about your PTSD there causing you problems, friend. And yes, Young Justice was freaking amazing. They're actually coming out with season 4 of Young Justice this year. Woohoo! The show's been on hiatus.
Was it Justice League or?
No, it's the sidekicks of the main Justice League characters. It's Wally West Flash, Connor Kent Superboy. Hold on, let me. I'll tell you the characters. Let me look it up really quick. Okay, the characters in Young Justice are where's the cast list? Okay, you got Dick Grayson as Robin, Calderon as Aqualad, Wally West, Kid Flash, Superboy, Connor Kent, Megan Moores, which is Miss Martian. She's the Martian Manhunter's niece. Artemis. You have Artemis, which is the protege of Green Arrow. And then they had like secondary characters. You had Roy Harper as Red Arrow, who was another protege of Green Arrow. You had Zatanna in the show. You had Jamie Reyes as Blue Beetle. You had Beast Boy Garfield Logan.
Yeah.
You had Tim came on as another Robin after Dick became Nightwing. Batgirl shows up in the show. Wonder Girl shows up in the show. Another young Flash, Bart Allen, comes and shows up at one point in a time travel episode. Static shows up in that show.
Just off topic, but kind of on Invincible's phenomenal. When I first started watching it, it was like, oh, this is very Batman Beyond looking. And they ripped the head off. I was like, no problem. That's cool. I've never liked the Justice League. Freaking for the simple fact that essentially Superman buries Batman when they put the Justice League together. Batman's looked at this big deal, and then they put the Justice League together, and now Batman's no longer a big deal because Superman's a big deal.
Well, actually, I disagree with you in that because the big deals in Justice League are the Trinity. It's Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. They're the Trinity. They're all important, you know?
Okay, but they have a Trinity, but then there's like 5 of them, and I don't get that. Because why do other people feel more important than others? That doesn't seem fair, especially if you're superheroes.
Well, that wasn't the original. Too many people have taken the Justice League as making Superman or Wonder Woman more important than everybody else. But the original Justice League in the comics, they wasn't like that. They were like King Arthur's Knights of the Round Table. They all held a they were all equal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like, I despise Superman.
As for what
I
Imperial
always
Death,
have. I think his story's unrelatable as hell. Freaking, I don't resonate with the character whatsoever.
who?
The Christopher Reeve Superman movies for me were boring.
Oh God, no. Look, Christopher Reeve did the best he could for what he had. Okay, but like that was a different time for superhero movies. Like it was more it was just a different time period in general for the world. It was more hokey. You know what I'm saying? It was more like still down home and wholesome still. You know what I'm saying? It was like that's what that was, and you can that was my that for Superman. That was like my second like exposure to Superman. My first exposure was the old George Reeves Superman show because that was on reruns on TV early in the morning.
I've never seen that before.
It's interesting. Yes, Red Sun was fucking amazing, and they made an animated movie of it. Jess, the DC animated movies, they made a Red Sun.
I like Dean Cain as Superman, and I like Smallville.
Smallville's my go-to. Not just because I'm rewatching it right now, but because I always loved Smallville. I did want to say
so many shows and so many stars were made out of that show. Freaking Ian Somerhalder ended up being the lead on freaking Vampire Diaries. He started out on Smallville. Jensen Ackles became the lead on freaking Supernatural, and now The Boys started out on Smallville. Like so many stars were made out of that show.
I just wanted to address a couple of things Jess has said in chat. This show Invincible that Jess is talking about is not a DC property. It's a Image Comics property.
Nice.
And it's like a hyper violent superhero show, but it's animated. It's like an adult animated cartoon about superheroes that are actually kind of violent. It's actually really cool.
Yeah, next week, everyone, I'll be going back to regular times when it comes to streams. Freaking doing 7 p.m. all the time. It's just
Jensen was on Days of Our Lives, I believe. Hold on just a minute.
He was on soap operas way back.
Goals.
I don't know which one it was. I want to say All My Children back in the day. But yeah. Me and my mother used to watch soap operas all the time. So yeah.
He was on Days of Our Lives.
Okay, Days of Our Lives. There you go.
Yeah. He was on Days of Our Lives. He was also on the show Dark Angel.
Oh yeah, that really shitty show with Jessica Alba in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Jessica Alba's a terrible actress. I hate it when people shit on the freaking original Fantastic Four movie. That movie is freaking good. And Julian McMahon was an amazing Doctor Doom. Freaking Jessica Alba's acting was crap like always. And I don't think the other freaking actors should get bad rap for it.
No, I actually like the Fantastic Four movies. They were good.
Yeah.
I
didn't like the reboot, not the one with Michael B. Jordan. I thought that was crap.
No,
but freaking the first two, I love those.
My only character problem besides Jessica Alba can't act. My only character problem was Doctor Doom. I don't think that the actor did okay as Victor, but like the look was wrong, and the way they made him Doctor Doom was wrong. But I liked Silver Surfer in the second movie. I thought that was pretty cool. Jess, yes, Green Lantern has always been one of my favorite heroes. I actually had a Green Lantern ring made with real emeralds, making the lantern symbol on top of the ring. It's in a safe deposit box right now. It was very expensive to have made. But Green Lantern is one of my go-to superheroes, at least on the DC side.
Did I miss a message? Nobody could replace your Paul? What happened to Paul?
She's talking about halogen helix.
Oh, I know. Where'd Paul go?
Oh, Nate was talking about he wasn't trying to replace Paul.
Oh, no.
Because they were talking about they were new best friends in the chat.
Thanks, Nate. I appreciate that, bro.
Uh-oh. Everybody getting in trouble now. I'm friends with everybody.
Yeah, but we all can't be as popular and knowledgeable as you, other thing.
Oh, come on.
Hey, but I'm a hit when it comes to karaoke. Yeah. Oh, my God. I had so much fun.
I don't think so. Oh, man.
Yeah,
karaoke is so much fun.
I bring a couple people in and reconnect with some ex-girlfriends, and now my friends who were my friends for a while just like ghost. He's the only one that's like, hey, we'll still be buddies. Yeah, all my other friends was like, ain't got time for you, pal. Deuces. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, sorry guys, I was supposed to have a guest and I had this whole outline and everything. And I've been taking Tate's advice lately, so I actually showed up backstage like 45 minutes early. And I was waiting. And then we got like 3 minutes to showtime. And my guest freaking no call, no showed me. Didn't even tell me, hey, I can't make it or anything. Oh dang! Now that I say that, now I got a message. It's just like,
oh, did he message you?
Yeah. Remember what I was telling you the other day in DMs?
Yeah.
How this happens to me a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get a little cynical with that shit, and I don't mean to. If I seem like I'm being extra salty tonight, I apologize.
Oh no, man! I was here to back you up.
I'll fight him for you. Josh, drop some names. Yes, yeah. All right, since I got Nate here, we're the dynamic duo. I need a co-host for a wrestling stream tomorrow. You got me? I actually took notes, so I'm actually prepared for this wrestling stream, Nate. I just got done watching the WWE shows, and I took notes. So yeah, I got my big boy pants on.
Oh no! I'm gonna have to brush up on wrestling before I can talk, because like over on Jason Lee Tucker's channel, they talk about wrestling a lot, and like on the Friday night
I thought they were like, I joined. I was in chat, and I thought they were gonna trash Brock, and then yeah.
But no, like when they start the show, him and Austin always talk about wrestling first, and I'm just sitting there like, because I know older wrestling stuff, like the Attitude Era wrestling stuff, but like I don't know anything about the new stuff except for I know a couple of the people.
I haven't, because of the schedule, because usually wrestling's on around 8 p.m., right? And that's why I like doing earlier streams. But everyone, Ambassador, and I love all you guys, but yeah, it cut out my weekly routine. Because I don't like watching playbacks of wrestling. I don't like watching it live because it has that experience of anything can happen at any moment. And it's cool. And I just like that feeling. That's the feeling I had back in the 90s. So it's just like one of them adrenaline rushes. And then I've been doing this and I don't mind it. I can always watch playback later in the week, which is what I did today. But that's why I do the streams earlier. And yeah.
Jason Lee told me where I can like catch up on wrestling and I can go back and look at stuff and all that and get caught up. So I'm gonna have to go and look over like 10 years worth of wrestling that I missed.
I wouldn't go that far back. I'm freaking. You literally can start at the end of January of this year, and you'll be all caught up.
Oh, okay.
WrestleMania is in April. I do a huge watch party for it. Freaking, it's like the Super Bowl of wrestling. Last year it was in my hometown here in Tampa. This year it's going to be in Dallas, Texas. Yeah, that's the big matches. Basically, this year they're mixing celebrities in with wrestling, which is actually pretty cool. That's what WrestleMania used to be about, and they're getting back to that, so I like it.
Yeah, you know that Jason Lee is actually near you out there in Florida?
Probably.
He's in Pensacola, I think.
Other side of the state.
Yeah. I mean, he's in your state is what I'm trying to say. Like,
yeah.
Y'all are in Florida.
Oh, yeah. I know where Pensacola is. It's like 4 hours. But that's it. That's cool, dude. No, I got this freaking whole brotherhood thing when it comes to people from Florida. Because most people that I meet from Florida, I hit it off with.
Right.
Yeah. Cena was still on there. And they brought. Oh, that was a few years ago. That wasn't that long.
You want to know what's crazy?
Cena pops in once a year.
I was at the SummerSlam. I was at the SummerSlam in '96 when Paul Bearer turned on the Undertaker.
Oh dang, that's awesome, dude.
I was at that SummerSlam. Dude, don't even get me started about MGK and the shit he's doing.
No, MG. Okay, since I got you guys, I'll say this and then I'll ask you guys a question. Okay, MGK is not going to be there. MGK is doing the soundtrack for the video game. All right. Second of all, why do you guys hate MGK so much?
I don't hate MGK. I actually like some of his rap, but like he's doing, he's with Megan Fox now. And he's doing something incredibly like they've done something incredibly cringy. The ring he got for her engagement ring has thorns on the inside of it. So it physically hurts her to put the ring on. And he said that was for her to remember that love is pain.
I don't know as cringy as it is stupid. MGK is a rapper turned punk rocker named Machine Gun Kelly. That's who MGK is. Gaming, just letting you know. MGK has some decent songs. That song they did for Bright was good. He did some of Cena's entrance stuff. MGK's okay.
I don't know, Jess. I kind of liked Rap Devil, which is where he called out Eminem.
MGK freaking calls out everybody. This dude called out rockers.
The thing is, Jess, you are right. If you diss track Eminem, you're gonna lose. But I still like Rap Devil. I thought it was a good song.
He's not punk. Take that back. Okay, Jess. Jess, because you've been awesome. And oh yeah, that stream that Geeks is going to have isn't until next Saturday. I just found out. That's one of the reasons why I'm a little ticked off right now. I'm going to be honest, because I told you something and I thought it was one thing and it wasn't, and I don't want to be made to look like to be a liar. Because I take a lot of pride in that I'm honest with everybody. So if I gave you wrong information, I apologize. Yes, I don't know, punk. It's the type of music that he tries to perform. All right, you guys, if you guys get offended by that, I'm sorry, but that's what it's like the pop punk stuff.
What's the difference between me and you? I don't know. You're a weird Green Lantern symbol floating in the sky, and I'm the crow.
I don't even know what he's talking about. Was it wrong? He rescheduled for birth. Yeah, see, he didn't tell me that. That's fine, personal reasons, but say it's personal reasons. Yeah, that's my whole thing. Heading out later. Okay, see you, man. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, that's friggin'. No, if someone has personal reasons for something, then tell me. It is not hard to notify somebody for something and let them know what's going on. but like a lot of people will like ghost me, and that pisses me off. I hate to get ignored. Like freaking, if you're gonna get back to me, get back to me. And I don't mean like if you got something going on and you can't, okay, but like 3 days, yeah, I shouldn't be put on hold for 3 days. That's kind of bullshit. All right,
Damn
I'm just saying that's just me.
Ow!
Like yeah,
That still hurts. No, I one of my coworkers opened a cabinet at work the other day, and I hit my head on the cabinet, and my head still hurts. Like my scalp is still bruised.
Favorite? That's a good question. Favorite Marvel and DC hero and villain or anti-hero?
Okay, just DC, I'd have to say Green Lantern, but Hal Jordan Green Lantern. And DC, Marvel. Oh, where do I start? I guess if you really had to go just like deep in on a Marvel character, it would be Cable. And my favorite villain in DC is the Joker. My favorite villain on the Marvel side is Mephisto. Yeah, Mephisto.
Okay, I'll go with heroes, I guess.
And my favorite anti-hero is Deadpool on Marvel's side and Lobo on DC side. And as for why Cable, because, well, he's a badass.
And he's old.
Time travels. And he's the son of Cyclops and the clone of Jean Grey. Which means he's incredibly powerful, but he's not an asshole about it.
He's just a boomer. Kidding. No, Cable is a badass old guy.
Well, technically, in the comics right now, he's not an old guy. He's a young guy because he time traveled. His younger self time traveled and killed his older self because his older self begged him to kill him.
Yeah, that's that's a lot of arguments when it comes to like especially the superhero stuff. It's because there's a group of people who don't do comics ever. Some people are heavy into the comics and some people aren't. And I'm starting to notice in these communities, everybody's heavy into comics. So it makes me look like a jackass.
It shouldn't make you look like a jackass. It just means you got to catch up.
Yeah.
Okay, so Marvel for her is X-23 and Magneto. DC is Green Lantern and Joker. I did tell you the other day that Magneto is one of my favorite villains, but I don't see him as a villain. I see him more as an anti-hero. In fact, I've got to get my hands on the T-shirt that says Magneto was right, because I agree with Magneto more than I agree with Professor Xavier. As for X-23, she is awesome. But do you know who Honey Badger is? Honey Badger is another clone of Honey Badger is actually a clone of X-23.
Honey Badger sounds stupid.
But she's considered another daughter, quote unquote, of Wolverine. Okay. Her name is Gabby.
I'm glad they went with X-23.
As for DC, you and I are in agreement about both. I love Hal Jordan and I love the Joker.
Yeah, on you guys. All right, for me, Marvel. Okay, we're doing hero, anti-hero. This is going to be tough. Anti-hero is going to be Punisher. Hero would probably be Daredevil. But then again, he's like an anti-hero too. He just doesn't cross the line as much as Punisher does.
Have you ever heard of the Shadowland storyline?
No.
If you ever get a chance to get your hands on some comics, they've got it all collected together in a trade paperback. But look for Daredevil Shadowlands.
Yeah.
He becomes a bad guy, and then he becomes a hero again. But Shadowlands is an awesome storyline. He gets possessed by a creature called the Demon. And it has to do with the hand, you know, the ninjas and all that. And it's a big, like, extended storyline. It's really good, though.
Yeah. And then for superhero, DC is going to be Batman, obviously. And despite what Nate says, I don't think there are too many Batman villains and freaking Titans, because I think the best villains in DC are Gotham, Batman verse type villains. Not to say that the other ones aren't good, just aren't as good as. That's why they get used all the time.
Right.
Villain, I'll agree with you guys. Joker, it's DC.
Now, to answer your question,
Marvel's going to be a little tough.
To answer your question real quick, Jess, if you're talking about Venom originally, he was a villain, but now he's more seen as an anti-hero, or actually a hero more often than not.
Venom always was an anti-hero, to be honest with you. If you go back and look, especially with the Spider-Man animated show, freaking the whole reason why Venom went after Peter Parker is he felt rejected. Because
now, if you want a really good villain, but Jess, if you want a really good villain that involves the symbiote, Cletus Cassidy Carnage is fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, Carnage is, in my opinion, the best Venom, or not Venom, the best symbiote villain out there. But Venom's always been anti-hero. Freaking, that's how you got the Maximum Carnage storyline, because Carnage was so bad that freaking Spider-Man and Venom had to team up. So
yeah. You had Maximum Carnage, and then here recently you had another Carnage storyline.
Yeah.
Where he, after Null showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you got a point there, Jess. A lot of the time in Marvel, villains are kind of, I don't know, redeemed, and then they fall out and become villains again. And the only, like, truly villainous
Null is probably my favorite villain, because I love the symbiote part of the Spider-Verse is my absolute favorite. That's why I like Spider-Man. It's Venom and Carnage and Riot and all those freaking symbiotes are like my absolute favorite. So I probably got to say Null is probably my favorite villain Marvel.
Null gives me like the shivers, dude. Null's weird. Well, for one, like have I told you Null's backstory? Like, okay.
Well, I know he was the father of all the symbiotes.
Null was a god.
Yeah.
And before the universe started, before the Big Bang, Null was out there floating in the darkness, and he was happy because it was quiet. And then the Big Bang happened, and light was brought into his darkness. Mm-hmm. And the Celestials started creating life, and the life was noisy. And he could hear all the life in the universe coming, you know, becoming sentient and everything. And the light was shining into his darkness, and he became angry. And out of the darkness, he built the all-black Necro Sword, and then he attacked the Celestials because they disturbed his sleep. And he beheaded a Celestial, and then the rest of the Celestials attacked him and cast him down onto a planet, and he was imprisoned on that planet. Starro's cool. I like Starro in DC. But like
so why Null ain't that bad. You just don't want to get fuck with it. And Celestials kept making too much damn noise. I've had neighbors like that.
He's like, hey, you're like, hey, I understand liking to sleep and noisy neighbors.
Hell yeah, man. You got noisy neighbors fucking with you when you're trying to sleep and chillax, dude. I'm pretty sure all you guys in the chat have had some noisy neighbors that pissed you off too.
Oh, dude, I've got noisy
so angry you might want to chop their head off as well.
I've got noisy neighbors right now, dude. Well, you heard me get aggravated about it yesterday when my neighbor blew the goddamn circuits in my apartment.
Yeah, see? You know what I'm saying? Freaking Noel's not a bad guy. He just had some noisy neighbors.
Beast Boy's awesome. So's Raven. I love Raven.
Raven was my favorite out of the Titans.
And her dad is like a scary villain. Trigon?
Yeah.
He's terrifying, dude. Trigon's terrifying.
I didn't like Cyborg and Beast Boy and freaking Titans, Teen Titans. It's like, I like my heroes to have issues. The freaking heroes that are just happy all the time. Yeah.
I like my heroes to have issues, and hey, I got a joke for you. I like my heroes to have issues, and I like my villains to be a little bit on the okay side. Like, if I understand my villains, it's okay. You know why I love Joker? Because you never know what to expect with him. One day, he could be trying to kill Batman. The next day, they're the best of friends. One day, Joker's throwing money out for the city to have extra money. The next day, he's killing all of your firstborn children. Joker's just weird that way, man. Oh.
Sorry, I'm writing someone back.
Oh, no. Not notifications.
No, freaking. No, I had some people freaking no call no show me when I first started this channel, and you guys have been here with me long enough to know exactly what I'm talking about. And freaking they no call no showed. Then I message. They finally got back and said, I haven't been feeling good. I've been sick all day. And I was like, okay, I understand that. Maybe we can do something in the future. That'd be nice. And it's like, okay. And then 2 hours later, I see him on Max's stream Right as the Rain. So it's like, oh shit, I just got fucking lied to. And that really pissed me off. So I was like, you backed out on me, but then 2 hours later, you're on one of my buddy's streams like nothing's ever wrong, because he was on camera too.
Damn.
And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard of that artist too, Jess. I don't think he does a lot of good Teen Titans art. A lot of the artists and writers I know of that I've actually met were the older guys from the 90s and from the 80s. Like, I got to meet Chris Claremont at a Comic-Con, and he wrote he was involved with a lot of the X-Men stories from like the 80s into the 90s until the Jim Lee rebranded the X-Men in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Hold on just a second. I'll be back.
All right. All right. If you guys got any thoughts or anything else, I'm going to finish up the stream. But yeah. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Jess, Nate, everybody coming out. Not sure what else, but we covered The Crow earlier. If you guys want to watch him play back, this is it for 90s week. So if there's anything else 90s you guys want to cover before I end it, let me know. I want to do a wrestling stream tomorrow, but I don't have a co-host right now. So yeah, and I like having co-hosts. It helps me come up with ideas, especially personalities and stuff like that. anybody knows anybody who wants to help me out with that, then that would be cool. But yeah, I'm gonna do a recap tomorrow, Sunday, and everything. But I might be taking some time off. Not that long, but taking a long time off in the future. Because 90's week was awesome. We've been staying busy in the chats, but it kind of burned me out a little bit. So, but yeah, it's been 90's week. I hope everyone enjoyed. I hope everyone.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Being as I've been here for 2 parts of it.
Huh?
I said I've enjoyed it, being that I've been here for 2 parts of it now.
And we did a total of 5 episodes, so that was awesome. So yeah, we did stuff earlier in the week, and then
Well, I know you did like an animation episode, and you did.
Yeah, I did one on music shows, like live action shows. So we combined I had to throw Buffy and Angel in there because that was my favorite. And then we talked about sitcoms and all kinds of different shows. And then we did the animated shows one, which was pretty fun.
Well, Jess, we'll be back Friday at the very least to do the Star Wars show. But if he needs to take, Josh, if you need to take some time off the first of the week, man, I completely understand.
No, I just don't have any ideas. I really don't. I got the freaking Tim Burton Batman versus Snyder Batman phrase thing going, and then I got Star Wars, and then I don't even know what we're going to talk about because we haven't.
Well, if you want tomorrow, before you do the wrestling stream, we can chat about some ideas for next week.
Yeah, I have no clue.
And if nothing else, we can bring Nate in and see if he has any ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, Nate.
Nate's been busy this week. I've barely been able to talk to him, and normally we talk almost every day. Yeah, so whatever's going on.
I'm just a guest co-host. Nate's the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know Nate showed up for the animation stream, but yeah. It sucks, man. Especially, I'm trying to start forming a team of people, and a lot of people are busy. So it's
well, I'm pretty much
here.
I'm pretty much here anytime you need me.
Yeah, you're probably the easiest one to get a hold of.
Yeah, it's because I actually pay attention to my messages. Well, the reason behind that is a few months ago I got into a really bad mental state. Yeah. And I wasn't answering any of my messages. And a couple of my buddies got upset about that. And they told me the next time I do that, next time I don't check messages, they're going to send the cops around to my place. And I don't like dealing with police officers. So in checking my messages, I always check everything. So it's like I'll check my Twitter, I'll check my Messenger, I'll check my text messages. I'll check, Discord and all that. So I make sure that I keep up with my messages now because I don't want the cops suddenly knocking down my door trying to find out if I'm alive or not. So it's really weird. You decide to take a couple of days off and not talk to the world, and people think you're crazy or something.
Oh yeah. I remember I went to go spend the weekend with my wife one time. This is when I was still a producer on Max's channel. And I went to spend the weekend with my wife. And Max and everybody knew I was gone. So they were cool. But there were some people in the chat.
Yeah. Jess has a good idea.
They thought I was in the hospital in critical condition. One thought that I was dead. All right. Because I chose to spend a weekend with my wife and kids and go to the park and do some nice family stuff. Oh my God. It was so crazy, man. I'm talking this is probably 6 months ago.
Jess has a good idea in the chat. She says you can do some ranking streams. We could do like we could take some movie series rankings. We could like rank the Crow movies of what we think they should be in.
I'm not going to be doing any movies in the near book future that consist of having comic book lore and able to talk about them, because like it's bad. Freaking, because I'm not heavy into comic books. I'm just not. I mostly collected comic books for the covers. I didn't actually read the damn things. Like freaking just
well, but dude, check it out. Like that's what you have me for. I'm the comic book guy.
Yeah,
I mean that's what Brodan used to use me for, and that's what Enosh uses me for somewhat.
Yeah, but like it's good now because we got cool people in the chat. But if Michael S was on here, and I used you for the comic book stuff, he'd be taking shots at me. Let's just say it like that. Like, how do you not know? How you letting Fate school you on your own channel? Blah blah. I would be getting shots thrown at me, dude. Like, so
shots fired, man.
Yes, I would be. I would be getting hit with them freaking Transformer machine gun shots right now.
Throwing lefts and rights and
exactly. It's like, how can you let other people come onto your channel and show you up? You're a effing chump. Like, I would be getting some shit like that.
Hey Jess, I got a question for you. How good are you at true crime and paranormal stuff? Because that's what my channel is gonna revolve around.
Ooh.
If you're any good at those things, I might use you as an ideas person. Since you say that's what you're good at.
You wonderful idea.
It's literally what I do. Ideas. She's an ideas person.
What's the idea?
Oh, good. Well, then we'll talk on Twitter, Jess.
Yeah.
Well, mate, it's been good. It's been fun. It's been real, but I got to get me some dinner.
Yeah, same here. I'm getting hungry.
I will, I guess, see you for the karaoke stream tonight.
Yeah.
All right.
It doesn't take thinking. All I got to do is sing. Okay.
Right. Just remember, it's around midnight.
Oh, yeah. I know the Saturday one's at midnight and the Wednesday one's at
7.
7, yeah. And
but yeah,
I'm excited for the Wednesday one.
I'll get with you, Jess, on some ideas on Twitter. You guys all be safe in the chat. Nate, Garguts, Jess, all of you, everybody down there that I'm not recalling names of at the moment. Everybody be safe. Have a good evening. And may the hand of God go with all of you.
All right. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us this week. Great one. Take care, and we'll see you later.